Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere, and even earn money. We like that. All in one place for totally free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your cellular telephone or your computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else, those other places that podcasts are heard.
Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free, zero catch. We've been using it ever since we started How Long Gone. And ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel like having the option of turning off the Q&As and the polls on the user dashboard has really helped boost my creativity and take it to another level. I highly recommend giving it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
Big dog, what's good?
Oh, hello. I'm just over here drinking 1 gallon of 365 spring water from Whole Foods Market. How are you?
Can we talk about you stealing my gallon swag, but I'm okay with it because it's helping not only your skin, but your digestion and other things that I'm probably not privy to?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Chris, because, you know, I don't know how to win with you. First of all, you get on this gallon of water train, and all you do is talk about how great it is. You big up it. It's almost as if you are trying to convince me and other people why this is a superior thing. And then as soon as somebody takes your sweet advice, you believe that they have stolen your swag and bit your steez. What's up with that?
No. I felt...
You calling me a steez biter?
I would never call you a swag surfer. I'm saying... I guess maybe sometimes your attitude about the gallon lifestyle was less than positive, bordering on negative. Even sometimes I think your tone would take like a mocking.
I'll admit that there's some truth to that statement, and you are validated and justified for feeling that. I'm not too big of a man to apologize, Chris.
Well, thank you, and apology accepted. And I want to say welcome to the good life, and you know you're going to have to piss a lot. So just be ready for that.
That has become the main through line in my life, in my new life. It's kind of, you know, when you go to therapy and you're like, it's so awesome. I just wish I did it earlier, you know, and, you know, hindsight 2020. The same, I'm experiencing that same excitement. Wow, this is so awesome. Wow, this is great. I feel better. My digestion is great. My skin is clearing up. I just wish that I didn't have to pee so much pee.
You know, this wasn't a problem in New York City for me because
there's a Starbucks on every corner, and you love those shitters, don't you?
I would never use a public toilet, Jason, at Starbucks. I consider that public. I would sneak into the Balthazar restroom just down the stairs to the right upon entering.
I hope Keith isn't listening.
Yeah, I hope Keith is listening. I'll use your pisser anytime I feel like it. Keith, but yesterday, you know, for example, I guzzle a gal yesterday before noon, and then I'm in the car all day because this cursed city is full of traffic, and that's when it becomes a problem. But if you're at home tethered to the machine, I don't know, maybe editing a podcast,
then it's fine.
Just the constant reminder that your liver is being flushed is, I say it's a good thing.
It's worth every penny of the 99 pennies that it costs for each one of these gallons. I have no beef with it whatsoever. But the thing is, when I have a hot tip for you. I know, you know.
Please.
Obviously, you go through at least one of these gallon jugs a day, right?
The student becoming the teacher. I love it. Yeah. I try to look. I basically have a full gallon, and then I'm also flirting with sparkling water after I finish. I as a reward for finishing my gallon, I start to dip into the ice cold blue La Croix.
The pure unflavored La Croix. That is your treat once you're a good boy and you drink your whole gallon as your base coat layer.
Yes,
and
exactly.
then anything else on top of that is just cake. Free yummy cake.
Is merely free hydration.
Okay, well, here's my tip for you, Chris. So you got all these empties kicking around in the Porsche. You got all these empties kicking around in the Porsche. What are we going to do with them? the sooner you guzzle that gallon, the sooner you have a bathroom, and you can just go ahead and hog into that hole and wee away.
Oh, you're suggesting that much like a gamer whose body shuts down from sitting for too long, instead of getting out of the Eames, I should just piss right there in the bottle?
If you're on Sepulveda off the 405 and you're eyeballing the clock in the Telluride, you're eyeballing the clock in the
the all new
Kia Telluride, which is, good luck getting your hands on that one.
The hottest car in America right now. Yeah,
you're looking down the barrel of a loaded gun and you're saying, you know what, WeHo's a long ways away, and I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm going to have to pinch and squirt off into the business end of a Whole Foods gallon container.
I mean, I appreciate the sustainability aspect that you're bringing to the table.
Honestly, I didn't even think about that angle. Wow, go me.
Go Jason, as always. But unfortunately, I've literally never done that in my life because that's how much of a yeah, no, not even on a hardcore tour.
Back of the van, they always pull over for black. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, when you're the singer, band leader, tour manager, business manager, and regular manager, you kind of are making the calls. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We're only pulling over to the finest truck stops that have not only regular bathrooms but showers as well, which I would never use, but it's just nice to know they're there. You know.
Nothing worse than a truck stop, man.
The smell of burnt coffee is better than the smell of truck stop, and also better than the smell of McDonald's or something else. Ooh. You know, that's
amen to that.
A nice Pike's Place roast tickling the nostrils is.
You've been mentioning the Pike Place roast a lot lately, Chris. What's going on with that?
Well, it's just a brand pillar for the Starbucks Corporation.
Mm-hmm. But for somebody who mentions it a lot, I don't even know if you have a complete grasp on the flavor profile.
I would say I don't, actually. I would say I probably don't. Unfortunately, I haven't had a piping cuppa from Howard Schultz's Starbucks in years. I only read his books.
Well, Chris,
now.
I got one question and one question only for you. How do you sleep at night?
Well, that's the thing, Jason. I sleep well because I'm not having a 4 p.m. Pike's Place. See, that's the trick, Chief.
Okay.
But I am actually having a rare, pre 3 p.m. mud can as we speak.
Pre-3? You're normally drinking your mud after 3 p.m.?
Well, no, I'm usually having an afternoon coffee between 2 and 3 p.m. Whether it be mud or a Maru or a sight glass or a...
Are you telling me that Sis is moving a little slow today?
Honestly, Jason, yesterday...
The heat blast. I'm feeling it today.
My combination of a strength training workout with some meetings and then a 2-hour session on the courts with you at the heat of the day, I was a shell of a man when I came home.
Don't sleep on those meetings.
You can't sleep on the meetings because those require, of course, mental fortitude, which is as important as physical.
I'm actually, thank you for saying that. After coming straight home from my La Jolla staycation... where I did also get blasted by the sun a little bit, lounging poolside, drinking my Aperol spritzes and whatnot. And then going straight into 90-degree tennis. I felt rode hard and hung up. We need a new phrase that is more severe than rode hard and hung up wet, because that's what I was feeling. Rode hard and hung up. Maybe our guest will be able to help us spitball. He's more of a rider than we are, but I'm gonna say I was murdered with a gun and then hung up wet.
I was merely a corpse hanging on the Eames hook.
My coffin was buried wet while the coffin is still wet. That's what I was feeling.
Yeah, I was. I felt.
Me up.
I wanted to do some stuff around the house, but unfortunately, I could barely shower.
You wanted to do some stuff around the house, like what? Find out where that TaskRabbit is.
No, I wanted to.
He was supposed to be here at 7:30. I just don't get it.
I wanted to open some Amazon packages, but I could barely lift my trigger finger to get the box cutter open.
And of course you were losing light quick. And,
I was losing light.
I don't know
but
how
luckily,
we're gonna get these shots off.
Luckily for all of us, the Aleve back and muscle pain relief 250 count bottle did arrive.
Chris, come on. That's a gateway drug, is what it sounds like to me.
I'm not snorting them. No, I didn't snort any of them. No, but the way that my body is feeling right now, because we're in the middle of a summer pump, and it is just it's pain all day. I have to manage it somehow, Jason.
Yeah, I picked up some Advil 2s. You ever fuck with the doses? The Advil 2, it combines ibuprofen, as well as acetaminophen. Are you familiar with this product?
That seems crazy.
Normally, the Advil, it's kind of like a nice dark peach, light red color. It's a sweet, shiny pill. This one is more of an off-white football that has kind of some squared off edges. Football. Not unlike an iPhone 4. And
You're giving yourself away as a former Xanax user.
I don't know what you're talking about, brother.
I mean, footballs are for pussies, but that's a different conversation.
I know. Ironically, it's true.
I'm only kicking 2 field goals at one time, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, you do know your sports, Chris. That's pretty impressive.
I guess we can introduce our guest shortly, but 2 things. Lil Baby just got popped for weed in Paris after looking like a clown with James Harden in the ugliest Balenciaga clothes I've ever seen.
You're talking about Le Baby?
Le Baby?
Un petit baby?
Un petit baby? Croissant?
Rapper. Very good rapper.
And then also, I just saw some pictures of Harry Styles on the yacht with his new chick, and he was wearing the Nike the Nike like marathon shorts with the high cut on the side as swimming trunks, which is something to consider.
That's actually what I wear as my swimming trunks. Not the 2-inch inseam, but those little 5-inch cuties that you see me wearing sometimes. Those are my swimmers.
I have to wear a proper bathing suit just because that's kind of how I'm trained. I thought you were more of a Hurley board shorts with
Who trained you, Chris?
I've seen you popping out of the pool with your Ethica boxer briefs poking out of the Hurley board shorts. So don't front.
Speaking of Ethica, one thing I did notice, which is one of like the most fucked up things that I've seen. Since I spent a lot of time by the pool this week, I saw a few guys wearing their swimming trunks
with the briefs, with the boxer briefs.
Yeah, they had the board shorts on, but then you could see the Hanes underwear underneath it, and I'm like, fam, what's the point of that? Why are you doing that? Is it a never nude meets a bro situation?
I think so, but it's also like when a fatty would keep their shirt on. You know what I mean? It's similar. Maybe you're scared that the hog could make an appearance if your cannonball goes awry.
But if you're a fatty, the hog is all you got. I'm flaunting that thing because it's like, well, you know,
no.
The body ain't much to look at, but I do have a penis, so you know something. And it's something to grow on.
I do have a regular penis, so that's good. We do have a guest today, and this might be the most triple OG we've ever had as far as this format goes. You guys probably know Tom Scharpling from The Best Show.
Long-running radio program.
The year 2000 on the WFMU. Now, of course, it's a podcast. His co-host is a legendary drummer, John Worcester. He's in Superchunk, Bob Mould, the Mountain Goats. And I was doing a little research for this episode, and I realized that those 2 guys met at a show. Listen to this lineup. My Bloody Valentine, Pavement, Superchunk. Has there ever been anything more for me than that?
Oh, wow. I mean, the only thing that would make it more for you is like if like the food court area had like a nice selection of water or like vegan treats or something. But otherwise,
I know. Yeah.
Perfect lineup.
But Tom, we're celebrating Tom's new book, It Never Ends, a memoir with nice memories, which came out, I believe, this week, and he's fucking everywhere. My man is doing everything. But of course, what is a press tour, Jason, without stopping by How Long Gone? You know, I see your little pitchfork shit, you know what I mean? Your little New York Times thing or whatever, you know, but
all that other press is really bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. But you came here to talk about wearing boxer briefs with bathing suits and other important stuff.
And I know he's a big beach guy, so we'll probably get into all that stuff.
He's a big beach guy. I think he lives in Venice, so we can unpack that. we can get to the bottom.
Well, he doesn't. I mean, he's a New Yorker, but whenever he's in LA, that's where his pied à terre is, I believe.
I believe Tom actually lives in LA now because he's a member of the comedy community, and you have to
Real
live
talk?
Here. I think contractually you have to live here if you're a member of the comedy community.
Yeah, I mean, Mulaney's here.
If we see Tom on the bike at the Equinox in Glendale, I'll start to worry. But anyway, let's give Tom a call and see what he's up to.
Au revoir. Tom Scharpling, welcome to the show. How the hell are you, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm not bad. I'm having a little knee pain right now, but and, you know, yesterday was real hot, wasn't it? Other than that, I'm doing pretty well though.
Good. I'm glad. I was worried about your knee.
Get in line.
It's been a long, treacherous journey for him. But are you in LA, Tom? I heard a rumor that you live here.
That is more than a rumor. That can be confirmed. It's fact.
So Cali Swag is in the building. What part of town are we in? If you don't mind mentioning.
Oh, I don't want to say where I'm at. I don't want you maniacs tracking me down.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, could you at least east side, west side, north side, south side? Are you a South LA guy?
No, it's east. It's east.
Well, I'm in Glendale for full transparency.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
That's
Chris is
exciting.
over in Beechwood just to set the setting for you.
Glendale, you got a lot of nice things. You got a Trader Joe's and
We got more than one, sweetheart.
California Pizza Kitchen. Living the dream out there.
Yeah, I had to work hard to get this view. So, Tom, obviously this has been a big week for you. We just kind of wanted to get a temp check on how you're doing. I know it's kind of like a milestone moment in your life. So, like, first thoughts, feelings, emotions now that Cosby's free, like, how are you feeling?
Well, it was a long fight, but we gave it. No, that's the worst thing that ever happened. I think about that, and it's nauseating.
It really is.
I'm not super clear on how it happened. Is it like a loophole situation?
The funny thing how money works. It kind of fixes things that people without money can't get fixed. Mm-hmm. It's weird how that works.
Yeah, it is quite a bummer. We were actually talking about this off pod in our friendly group chat about Cosby mentioned that he was going to come back and do shows. Do you think that that's a thing that is actually going to come to fruition, or a venue is going to willingly feature him and, have concert tickets available at the box office and the whole thing, or is it dead in the water? What do you think?
I think any kind of conventional ticketing structure and these national booking things now, it's so corporatized. It's like I couldn't picture them getting back in business with him.
Live Nation isn't going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole.
No. I think Cosby's going to be like Pearl Jam in the '90s and fight the good fight,
Sure.
And destroy Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Once and for all.
And they did. They beat Ticketmaster and they went under, and now there's no service charges on anything. It's like, no, you can't win these fights.
We could all thank Eddie for that.
Yeah, Pearl Jam went
Thank
to
you,
the
Eddie.
mat. I'm glad they did. At least it shines a light on it. But I don't know if you're going to ever win those fights.
So, Tom, you've been podcasting for a long time, and obviously took some time to write this book. And now that it's out, do you feel is podcasting new and fresh and exciting for you? Do you feel like you were neglecting the old pod before, or were you able to kind of manage both?
I don't know. I've struck a balance with both. I mean, the book wasn't anything that knocked me off point with the best show. 2020, the larger issues in 2020 knocked me off target because having to kind of scramble and figure out how the show would work and how to do it, not in a studio, but try to maintain as many elements as possible. Like that was a bigger curveball than anything the book brought my way.
Do you like remote podcasting now, or have you enjoyed some? No, you don't like it.
I don't. I wish I was.
You got to do it fucking live.
I like doing it live, and I do it live. I do the best show live. Still, we figure it out, but it's a little more bare bones because of that. But I'm okay with that, and there'll be another. We'll be back in a studio and doing it properly soon.
Yeah, we started this podcast in quarantine, so remote is kind of all we know. But I have podcasted before in person many a time. Mm-hmm. I've found personally that it's easier for me to talk to people without being able to look them in the eyes. You can kind of say stuff that you might be afraid to mention in front of somebody, something that might make them angry. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Have you experienced any of that at all, or not so much?
Yeah, I'll say stuff to people. I don't care.
You don't give a flying shit.
What am I going to do? No, I do care. But I think anything I would say to them anything I would say over a Zoom, I would hope that I would say to their face also. But I'm not saying outrageous stuff.
I think it relaxes the guest to an extent.
You can wear your comfy sweatpants. You can have your beverage in front of you. Your kitty is purring on your lap. You can look out your window into your backyard, and it's more relaxing than being in some some fussy studio in Westwood or something like that. You know, that's where you record your show.
No, I never recorded my show in Westwood. Where did you get that from?
I was going to say lucky guess, but not so lucky, I guess.
A fussy studio in Westwood? I don't even know where Westwood is. I don't know.
Okay, so you really are an East Sider.
Yeah. I don't know where anything is out here.
How new is this relocation from the East Coast?
It's like a year and a half. And here I am, and I showed up, and then a pandemic showed up right behind me. And I never got to, like, really
go surfing,
hang out. I didn't get to go surf. Oh, if only this stupid coronavirus had stopped me from all my surfing that I was going to do.
I mean,
yes, I would have been out there doing my thing. But if not for the pandemic, I would have be the king of the ocean. Me and my board. Right? I get my sex wax.
Okay.
Yeah, see, you're not. Yeah, I don't. I'm unfortunately my surfing career hasn't taken off yet either, but I'm a little intimidated by the open water.
Yeah, I'm scared as hell of the ocean. Are you scared of the ocean, Tom? I'm scared of the ocean. No, you're good?
I'm fine with it. I'm scared of everything and nothing at the same time. I'm ready to go, guys. If a shark takes me out, so be it.
Fuck it.
At least it'll be a glorious way to go.
Tom, we talked about this a few days ago. What are your thoughts on roller coasters? You think they're worth it? Not so worth it? You a thrill seeker, coaster head?
I like a roller coaster now and again. I can't do multiple ones. Like if I go to a park and they have all the rides, I cap out at a point and they lose their appeal. But I like a few. Get a few in, and then that's that.
You're not going to stack them all day.
I like to hear that. I'm a coaster enthusiast.
Sure. Are you a member of ACE?
I am. I'm a card-carrying member of ACE, but I received some shame from my co-host as well as some listeners to this podcast that they thought my coaster enthusiasm was either fake or stupid.
Well, yeah, I could understand. It's such a cool thing that to be a roller coaster fan that you would fake that you really would go so far out of your way for some stolen valor.
Yeah,
coaster style stolen valor, claiming you went on roller coasters. It's one of the least cool things ever, and people are accusing you of faking it.
You know, I don't know if you feel the same way. I hate our listeners, so it's not a surprise.
I don't know your listeners. I don't know if I hate them. I don't hate my listeners. My listeners are outstanding.
Are there any other people who sort of like actively, vocally hate their fans or listeners other than you, Chris?
I'm sure there are. I mean, it's called negging. It's a very popular thing.
Name some names.
Nothing comes top of mind. Maybe I'm a trailblazer.
This could be your moment. You are the one who hates your fans. You know who probably hates their fans is Louis C.K. because he had all these like urbane, he kind of courted like this urbane audience and had all these fancy people. He's hanging out with Paul Simon and all that, and then now his fan base is just like people he would never want to meet.
Yeah,
are the only people that are still going to see his shows.
Just stinky pedophiles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to hang out with these guys at all.
You get a whole new fan base that you don't want, but you know, they still are buying tickets. So it's you have no choice.
Yeah, it's kind of like being like a Fox News correspondent, you know, like the checks are coming in, but you don't want to really hang out with the core audience.
Then that's one of the things with like Donald Trump, where he just like, this guy's so obsessed with like losers and winners and losers. There's no way he doesn't look at the people that like the celebrities that he knows. Scott Baio is a loser.
Yeah.
Like he's so consumed by just like, LeBron James is a loser. Oh yeah, what a loser. Can you believe what a complete failure?
LeBron James is literally a winner, like more than maybe anybody else. Like literally a winner.
He's the definition of success. But he's got to deal with My Pillow guy, Scott Baio, Dean Cain, and pretend Ted Nugent, and he's pretending that these are winners. Somehow, like he knows they're just total losers.
That's got to eat him up inside.
It's like Bruce Springsteen's Bruce Springsteen's a loser. Yeah, boy, what a flop that guy turned out to be.
I've never seen Ted Nugent live, but I've heard good things.
You think he's a 78-year-old man playing shirtless on stage, Wango Tango? You think he's past it? He watched the window come and go.
Life has passed him by.
Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, he's peaked.
Donald Trump I think that's the whole thing, because he's like born in Queens, and just I think he's trying to deny his whole thing. So it all tracks. He's always wanted to be in with Bruce Springsteen and those types, and unfortunately he missed his window. He was, though. I was thinking about this the other day, because he was. I forget that reality show was the most popular show on television.
I was writing recaps of that thing for Vulture. So it was like this show is like sinking to the middle of the pack in terms of audience size, and he was still talking about how it was like the number one show on television. It's like, no, but it was for like a season or two. It was definitely top. Mm-hmm. So look, he's an incredibly successful. You could, until 2020, you could make an argument he was the most successful American ever. He ran for office once, and it was president, and he won. It's like that's insanely successful.
That is very successful to not move up the ranks from like school board. That is he skipped the line, if you will.
Yes.
Who's your favorite contestant on the show? If you're writing these recaps, are you an Omarosa head or?
No, Omarosa a little too on the nose for my liking. I was more of a
more in the underground.
Who did I like? I like Marley Maitland was nice.
She the deaf gal?
She is, yes.
Yeah, she's great. Hilarious.
I love her on The West Wing.
She was on West Wing. She was on Seinfeld. She was on many things.
That's right. I remember that.
What other shows were you recapping during this time? I feel like I was glued to the TV, so I would love to chop it up.
My Vulture days consisted of one season of Celebrity Apprentice. I didn't have it in me to keep doing, because I would watch the show at it would come on at 9 at night. I'd watch it, and I would basically pull an all-nighter writing this thing, trying to make it funny, and then I'd hand it in the morning. I'd fall asleep for a little bit. Then they'd kick back some notes. I'd address the notes, and then it's like, what am I doing here? I'm getting $100 to write these things, and my health has been legitimately compromised by this experience.
Yeah, you're not covering The Sopranos or something like that, where America waits with bated breath on what's going on.
I'm writing about Meatloaf. Meatloaf trying to sell hot dogs. Meatloaf's running a hot dog cart, and I'm literally not sleeping.
You've got the candlelight going with the typewriter. A glass of scotch next to you,
cranking away like Hunter S. Thompson. Cigarillo hanging out of the corner of my mouth.
Well, the recapping industry is bigger than it ever has been. I think you were on the front lines of that, because that's a whole industry now.
Not front line, but it was 10 years ago, so it was not what it has become now. Now it is you can make your claim to being a fancy recapper. I guess these recappers, they walk past the velvet rope now at the club and just breeze in.
You're making six figures recapping RuPaul's Drag Race. No question.
Oh, absolutely. They see you coming and they're just like, oh my goodness, it's the Riverdale, the person who recaps Riverdale. Come right this way, sir.
Wouldn't mind getting that gig. Well, let's talk about this book, my friend. It's a collection of stories, memoir-ish style. Is that safe to say? I haven't picked it up yet, unfortunately. It just came out a couple days ago, right?
Yeah, no, that's fair to say. It's stories throughout my life, and it's funny.
How could it not be funny?
Thank you. I appreciate that. How can it not be funny? Well, it's very easy. I could tell you about 100 ways it could have not been funny. And sometimes it wasn't when I was writing it. I was like, I think I figured out how this could not be funny, and it was the thing I just wrote.
And that's more so because of the subject matter, not because of your comedic abilities, I'm assuming.
Well, I tried to strike a balance with stuff and make it as funny as I could, no matter what the subject was. So, yeah, and there's some less hilarious stretches than others, but it's all in there. And I think that even the more serious things are funny-ish. I tried to thread everything together also. So it has like everything feels like it's a part of a larger narrative. Everything isn't just standalone, but parts are, but on the whole.
Suck on that, David Sedaris.
Exactly. I couldn't shine my shoes.
What was so this process, what are we talking, 2-3 years?
Good 2 years. Yeah, like almost 3, definitely 2. On and off, sometimes more on than off, and depending on whether I had a day job at the time.
Did we do any writers' getaways? Did you get a cabin somewhere?
J-Tree? You hit up J-Tree, didn't you?
Did not hit up J-Tree. I did sign up for WeWork, and I was hanging out with the WeWork crew, and we would...
No shit.
No, I didn't do WeWork. The book would have been about me jumping out a window. Did you see that documentary, WeWork?
I loved every second of it. I truly couldn't get enough of him. And you know who I really liked, I think is underappreciated, is his wife.
Yes, she...
You fine?
No.
She brought some... She brought some much needed lack of levity to everything.
Yes, yeah, she's extra twisted. She might be more twisted than him.
Yeah, or I think they are two very different twisted people who twist together just perfectly. Somehow they snap together like a disjointed puzzle or something.
That's what I call true love.
But he's still rich, right? Like he's fine, kind of.
Oh my God, they are both so rich from this thing. They sold their thing and they got tens of millions of dollars on the way out. I was reading the numbers on it. They are so set, and they're just on to the next thing.
I mean, that's all those demented founders. It's like they're just going to do it again, and people are going to fall for it. That's why they're Christ-like figures.
And I'm going to let them.
Yeah. It's like this cult of personality, though, with these dudes where they just like... They're immediately like, I came up with an idea for offices. And then everybody's like, great. Oh, that's such a cool idea. Here's my next idea. We all live together. What? It's like, and then here's my next idea. We educate your children. And you're like, okay, feels a little bit like an overstep here from Office Space.
That sounds a whole lot like a school.
Yeah, well, it sounds a whole lot like a cult.
Yeah, I mean, the scenes of the apartment where they like no one leaves because they're like, why would we leave?
Yeah,
is really twisted stuff. Like that's the most eye-opening part where they're like, it just feels like a never-ending episode of The Real World.
Yeah, and there's a moment that was particularly chilling would be when a visitor comes in and orders a cappuccino at their coffee bar, and then they give him an espresso. And he's like, well, no, I ordered the cappuccino. The other dude, WeWork man, ordered the espresso. And they're like, he thinks that espresso is cappuccino and the cappuccino is espresso. So when somebody orders a cappuccino, that means espresso here. And it's like,
I forgot about that.
Rather than somebody say to him, it's like, hey, that's a cappuccino. That's an espresso. They're like, no, we decided to redefine what these beverages are. Instead of telling him he's wrong.
His old security is like, trust me, honey, just go with it.
It's not worth it.
That's what it really felt like. And it's not worth it moment. Could you imagine you live in that place? You're just like, I'd like an espresso is what I want. But meanwhile, you're just like, that's a cappuccino. But WeWork, man, he thinks it's an espresso.
Tom, what is are you a morning writer? Are you a nighttime writer?
Probably more night than morning. Yeah, I gotta rev up the old engine and get a couple errands out of the way, and then I'm good to do it. Okay.
What kind of errands are we running on a day-to-day basis? And also, are we revving up with coffee? We a tea? We a matcha guy?
Coffee. We got coffee. Are you kidding? Coffee. I go to the thing and I get an espresso. which is actually a cappuccino.
I order an oat milk espresso at Intelligentsia.
Don't talk to me until I've had my espresso.
I have a shirt that says "Me Before Coffee," and I put it on.
Me before coffee,
and it's just a picture of the Kraken from Clash of the Titans, and he's mad, and because he didn't have his coffee yet. And then on the back it says "Me After Coffee," and it's the Kraken sitting there with a nice latte, and Kraken looks happy.
He's more of a happy, well balanced Kraken after that.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I do coffee. I'll go
hit the dry cleaners,
to the store, the dry cleaners, the post office, any number of errands.
It probably changes on a day-to-day basis as well.
Oh, of course. I'm not going to the dry cleaner every day. What am I wearing, suits every day?
You like clothes as much as the next guy, but let's slow down.
Of course I'm a clothes horse. Everybody knows that. That doesn't even need to be said. But
you're probably getting dressed every day if we're being honest.
Oh, at this point, it's 7 days a week. Yeah. I'm putting on different clothes. I'm putting on clothes that are different than the clothes I wore all day when I go to bed. And then I get up and I put different clothes on than what I went to bed in, and they're different than what I wore the previous day during the day.
Your dedication to fashion is exhausting me.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It really, it's now that I'm saying it, I think I might have a little bit of a problem.
I don't even know what the closet, like, how do you manage the closet space? Because I feel like, I don't know. That seems like it's going to require a lot of square footage.
It does, and that's why I moved into my dry cleaners, and I can just press that button, and the clothes come rolling by.
Yeah.
And I can see them, all my clothes rolling past me, and then I hit the red button, and then it stops. And then I take whatever's in front of me and I put it on.
Very, very Clueless style. Or when Tommy Lee had the Starbucks put into his house on MTV's Cribs, it has that kind of energy as well.
It does have that. Yeah, Tommy Lee was, when he had that Starbucks installed, because everybody knows it's the logo that makes the coffee, not a skilled barista.
Yeah,
that was one of the dumbest things when he's like, I got a Starbucks in my house. It's like, no, you don't have a Starbucks in your house. You have a Starbucks sign. Although it would be great if he ended up when you're searching maps. You type in Starbucks near me, and then somehow you actually end up at Tommy Lee's house. Technically, that is a Starbucks.
Tommy's like, I regret. Looking back, I regret putting that live on the Google Maps. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
it's because I'm a private guy.
I'm in the weeds over here. I got a real rush.
I'm getting hammered.
We're out of soy milk, and this thing is going off the rails.
Out of soy milk. How about almond? I could do almond milk with that, and I'm out of the.
You do a perfect Tommy Lee, by the way.
Oh well, I've been known for that. I've done loop work for ADR for him. When he can't finish a job, I'll go in and just read the loop lines off of they project it, and I'll just kind of sync it with his actual lip movements.
You're the doctor they call when it's time.
Yes, it's like I'm a dent and bumper man, as they say, where I come in and I knock the dings out. They pay me well, and then I'm on to the next one.
Speaking of that, did you record your own audiobook yourself, or did you hire an actor or an actress?
No, I went to a fussy studio. Where was it again? Westwood. What did you say?
It was Westwood. Westwood. That's where all the ebooks are created.
I went to a place in Burbank and did it.
Oh, we're talking.
I did the recording for it. Yeah. It's very exciting.
I spend a lot of time in Burbank, so that makes me happy to hear that. So you did it yourself, and I think you have a very distinct voice and way of speaking. Like, how do you think you might describe that?
Oh, I don't know. It's just my voice. I've been using it for my whole life.
Was this just a budget thing? Like, was Ewan McGregor not available, or did you want to do this?
Yeah, we got priced out of the marketplace. The heavy hitters I was chasing after, we couldn't meet their rate. So I ended up having to step in and do it myself. No, I was always going to do it. I do a podcast. I talk. I can't get somebody else to read.
No,
this
but
thing.
it would have been pretty funny if John Hamm did it like it was a Mercedes commercial. You know,
Would it have really been that funny 3 hours in?
No, that's a good point.
It would have been funny if you saw. It'd be funny if you saw. It's like, oh, that's funny. John Hamm did it. That's hilarious. And then wait, I got to listen to John Hamm read 9.5 hours of this guy's story.
After a while, the bloom comes off the rose. That's true. But yeah, I guess if once you finally write that book, it's done. It's in the can, as they say.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost psychotic not to read it yourself. You know, that's like taking your victory lap after the old Indy 500.
Exactly. You gotta take your old victory lap, and this is a victory lap, a 28-hour victory lap, 5 nights in a row. What a victory lap that was! Reading the same sentence over and over.
Who was in the lab with
victory
you?
was in the air. Who was in the lab? Well, a guy who was a great engineer was there, and he was just like. And the way it works is, it's not like they're like, oh, let's do 2 takes of that paragraph. It's like you just read straight through until you flub something, and then he'll go, okay, yeah, you messed that up. I'm going to back it up a second. Then you hear it, the previous 2 sentences.
Oh, that's nice.
And you kind of get played back in.
We call that in the business, Tom. We call that we're going to punch you in right here.
Yes, they punched me in. Thank you. I don't have the lingo down yet.
So it's kind of like when you see the wave coming when you're out there surfing, and you kind of have to hop right on. They give you 2 sentences, and you kind of click back in.
I never had a chance to learn the surfing. Why are you taunting me like this? I feel like I'm being singled out because of the pandemic. I couldn't go to a surf shop and buy a $13,000 surfboard, which I don't know how much they cost.
They can be
assuming.
pricey. They can be pricey depending on, you know,
Some
if
of
it's.
them can get up there.
I think you strike me as like a hand-shaped guy, so you'd probably want something on the higher
Nothing
end.
off the rack.
I want a board that says on the bottom of it something like "Suck it, sharks," and like a shark would see that and be just like, "Oh,
Suck it, sharks, dumbass."
yeah."
You would use your surfboard as a form of protest towards the shark community, letting them know that they're lesser than.
Just somebody's got to keep these sharks in their place.
They've had it too good for too long. I'll say it.
They really have for millennia. They've had it. Good king of the sea. I don't know about that.
It's a load of crock. Do you have any LA specific questions, inquiries? Is there something that you've been trying to find in town that you haven't been able to yet that we might be able to help you out with?
Yeah, this is actually a great opportunity. Where would I find, for example, I grew up with these East Coast diners, and these ones out here are, I don't know what they're supposed to be. They're all like retro. First, like there's no like one that feels like it's in present day. Every diner on the East Coast exists in present day. Like no one's in a costume, and the walls aren't covered with pictures of George Lucas directing American Graffiti, and like
we don't need a '57 Chevy parked in the front driveway. Chicks on roller skates.
That's exactly it. Yeah, all of the trappings like that seem to permeate a fair amount of these so-called diners out here. Where it's got to be a retro experience.
You're looking for a diner for today.
I'm looking for a place where you walk in and you say, I would like to order a sandwich, please. And then they're not in costume, and you don't have to get up and dance to Duke of Earl, and everybody's not, and they're just like, what flavor milkshake you want with that? Milkshake? I don't want a milkshake. You're going to have a milkshake with lunch? Like, what do you think? Like, what kind of life do you think I'm living?
Like, all right, Tom, you want a cherry on top of your malt? And you're like, it's 11:30 on a Tuesday.
Exactly. Thank
But
you.
you're
I'm just like,
looking for like a sandwich. You're not looking for like 2 eggs over easy with some hash browns, or both of those are up.
no, both of those. It should be the option should be there for me.
Okay, so a non-novelty diner, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have those. So next
Yes,
question.
I didn't think so.
Really, I mean, like the '90s, you had the heyday of diners in LA with Swingers and Fred 62. You know, you're familiar with the swing dancing movement.
I like Fred 62.
Yeah.
That's the closest they come.
It does have some retro energy, though.
But I feel like
Little bit.
the midday diner. I feel like in LA, a diner is geared towards a late night crowd, if you know what I'm saying. And I think that the lunchtime crowd is maybe ignored.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just picking up a sweet green salad on the go to our Pilates class. You know what I mean?
But that's
what about
exactly-
we're both kind of into fitness and exercising and stuff like that. What do you have lined up as part of your regimen on a day-to-day basis, Tom?
Basically, when it comes to fitness, I look at it as you could do a lot of a little, or you could just go for it. And I go to the gym and I set the leg thing at like 2,000 pounds.
Okay.
And I do one of those. And then I'm good for the month. And then I do the same with arms.
Yeah.
I'll go back the next night, do the same thing, set it around 1,800, 1,900 pounds. I do one of them, and it's like, yeah, that was good enough. I'll see you next month.
And you're doing this at night, you said. You're late.
I go at night, like
night stuff.
1 a.m.
Yeah.
to 5 a.m.
You strike me as a 24-hour fitness kind of guy. You kind of want to scan in. You want to have the place to yourself. You don't want to deal with the front desk staff or a towel service.
If you're doing 2,000 pounds, you don't want to kind of scare off the competition, so it's best to go later on. Okay, that
Thank you.
makes sense.
That's exactly.
Well, I didn't realize this, but I think what he's saying, Jason, is that actually he's using all of the weights that are available in the gym.
Yes.
So you have to go when no one else is there.
And if I can't find a machine that goes that high, I will. If it's arm day, then I usually lift an elliptical machine with each arm. I lift one, and then the big problem is sometimes I'm so strong, I smash it into the roof of the gym.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then there's just damage to the ceiling. It's like structural damage to the gym. And they get really mad when they come in the morning and they see an elliptical machine stuck in the roof.
That's what they yell.
He did it again. Yeah.
Did it again.
They go to the computer, type in see who scanned their little scanner when they came in.
They get to the bottom of it pretty quick.
That rat bastard, he did it again. I think I want to get one of those huge truck tires, like those enormous truck tires, right?
Monster size.
A 300. We call that, Tom, the 300 workout.
300 workout, okay.
It's named after the film. So you would take that to a parking lot and you would just flip that thing over and over and over until you can't anymore.
Now, that movie's called 300. Why? Because of the people that are fans of it. That's their collective IQ. Is that what that is?
Look,
for that movie. Now, that's a spectacularly dumb movie.
Tom, I know you're coming for me. I've actually never seen the film, but I have looked at the workouts on menshealth.com just to check them out.
Speaking of bad movies, we were talking earlier about the Fast franchise. I think it's quite bad. I really hate Vin Diesel. Where do you stand on it?
I don't care for those movies. I did see Hobbs and Shaw in the theater. I did enjoy that, but it was like you're laughing at it. It's just like there's a point where it's like they're not good. But it's just like it's big, and it's almost like they're the Trump of movies in a way, where they're just too big to fail now. So like we just got to keep rolling with this thing. We can't call it for what it is, because the whole thing will come collapsing
I think
down.
the only reason it's still around is because Paul Walker died. I think that kept those movies going for longer than they would have.
Or maybe it's the fact that they make more money than all other movies combined as well.
Now with the way this works with the consolidation of all these corporations, it's just like what is going to be the first one to just smash franchise into franchise? I feel like it's going to be like Marvel versus Star Wars will happen in the next 10 years, right?
Definitely. Oh yeah, definitely.
Like it'll literally be, what if Marvel characters fought Star Wars characters?
Batman and C-3PO, they're tangling.
Yeah, and then Fast and the Furious, it's like, you could put that in, like, that could be in like Mission Impossible world or something, right?
Don't give this away for free.
Your world building is loco.
They can have it. They can have all of it.
Well, now you got the book deal. Small potatoes.
Yeah. Well, I had the book deal. We're concluding the book deal right now.
Are you saying the final payment on your publishing date was received?
I've not received it yet. But we're coming to the.
I would call your bank if you.
They're good for it. That Zelle is going to come through any day now.
Yeah, that's Zelle. I'll just keep refreshing Zelle and see where is it.
I checked my Zelle. It's still not there yet.
Guys, I was calling again. I contacted Zelle and they said everything looks good on their end. There's no problem.
The part about the literary world they don't tell you about, you know?
Yeah.
10 hours a day on the horn with Zelle. Speaking of book deals, was this a one and done book deal, or did you get picked up for multiple releases?
No, this is one and done. This is not any sort of. They were not exactly taking me off the market.
Right.
It was not a pressing concern to make sure they locked me up.
Right.
We can't let this guy out of the stable.
Do you think this is the type of book that could maybe be turned into a cinematic universe?
It could be. I don't know if anybody would. It's nothing I'm particularly interested in.
Well, if Ben Affleck was sniffing around and interested in producing,
he could, by all means.
Would you play yourself, or would you have an actor do it? If so, who would it be?
I think we should probably go with an actor.
Okay. Well, you've done some acting, right?
I'm going to say, let's go with somebody that likes being filmed.
Come on, man. You're Hollywood adjacent. Don't give up your dream.
It's not a dream, though. That's the thing. I won't give up my dreams. That's not a dream. I don't want to be in movies.
You want to hang out in Video Village, is what you're saying? Behind the scenes cat?
I want to hang out in Video Village and go over to Crafty and get the food the second it comes out, and those dumb actors are on set still acting it up. And then between takes, I go over. I'm like, they got grilled cheese sandwiches. Mm-hmm. They got just tell one of the actors like they got grilled cheese sandwiches over there, and they're like, "Oh, could you get me one?" Yeah, of course, I'll get you a grilled cheese sandwich.
Because sometimes at the end of it, that salmon's looking a little sweaty.
Yeah, under those lights.
What's your knowledge of the freeway system so far?
Well, I know there's different highways.
Name 5 freeways.
Yeah, if you're a real head, you got to name your top 5 freeways.
I think you're a real fucking Angelina.
The 101, the 405, the 5.
Oh, shit.
What else is there? There's 134. I've been on that.
He's struggling, Jason. He's struggling.
134, and then the 2. Yeah, the 10 also. There's the 10.
Yeah.
Now you're just showing off.
Which, yes, I went for extra credit by listing 6. I didn't even mention the 6. Now, the 6 is my favorite highway. I love driving up and down the 6 and blasting. I blast a song of the national anthem of Los Angeles, which is Panic at the Disco, High, High Hopes, which is a song everywhere you go. Gotta have high, high hopes for the...
That's probably one of my least favorite songs that's ever been created in the history of music.
Don't come for Brendan Urie and my other homies in Panic at the Disco on this show.
I prefer Panic to whatchamacallit, the other band.
Not Fall Out Boy. Don't do that.
Yeah, Fall Out Boy. Panic at the Disco better than Fall Out Boy, I'll say it.
That's crazy, bro.
I will say this. This is my main bone to pick with Los Angeles. And are you guys both native Los Angelinos?
No, I'm from Atlanta.
You're from Atlanta.
I'm from the OC, but, more or less.
Okay. Why is it that people here have an 8-year-old's view of the world when it comes to their heroes, where it's like, we like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. We like Kobe Bryant. And every Laker is my hero. Sublime.
All right, Toms, who are some more adult basketball players that we should memorialize?
You could maybe do Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the greatest humans that has ever lived. There should be murals to him everywhere. This guy's one of the greatest people that we've ever...
And he's smart.
He's so smart. He's such a fascinating great guy, and not a whole lot of murals for him because he shot a weird shot that I can't relate to. He did a hook shot. It didn't look cool.
He's also not dead, though. That could be the problem.
Well, there were so many Kobe. There was so much Kobe stuff well before his passing.
True.
There's exponentially more of it now, and I understand it after the fact, but it was happening well before any of that.
Okay, well, try this on for size. I think that Kareem, he was obviously a god and a living legend in LA in his heyday and at his time, but I think he was kind of peaking before the street art movement was really taking off.
I can't help that the street art movement wasn't in full swing during his heyday.
I know. It's weird because on your Zoom, I see the Obey prints kind of behind your head, so it kind of leads me to believe that you are a street art fanatic.
Of course. No, I'm a Shep head, and I got my Obeys everywhere. No, it really is. I can't think of anywhere on the planet that would shoot off fireworks after winning a regular season game. It's like a Wednesday night, and suddenly Lakers win. Suddenly here, like 5 seconds after they win. It's just like, it just creates bad vibes. That's why I'm just like, when they lost, I'm just like, yeah, it's right, you lost.
I guess it's hard to make a real case for it other than weather, you know?
Well, the produce. Let's not forget the avocados.
We have great tomatoes.
Yeah, and those can't be transported, of course.
Well, they're just fresher. They're fresher here. They're more red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could transport those. I wish you fucking luck though, because it's not so easy. Tom, you a big chef? You cooking it up at home? We love cooking on this pot now.
No?
You do? I'm not really, no.
You a caviar guy, Postmates guy, Uber Eats?
Uber Eats? What is that? I've never heard it pronounced Uber.
I'm sorry. I don't use those services. I maybe have been saying that
Jason's
wrong.
Jason's a friend to the restaurant community. He does not use any third-party apps. He goes directly to the restaurant himself and pays in cash. So that
Lyft Eats, yeah. Uber Eats, no, thank you.
Sure.
No, Uber only on this side. Well, if you're not cooking, yeah, what are you doing? Are you eating every meal at the Sunset Tower?
Who's feeding you? Who's feeding you, Tom?
I get by. Food's out there. As long as I can get a loaf of bread and a stick of butter, I'm okay. I'll make it.
I'm glad you said that. In my belief of the culinary world, I've been all over the world. I've tasted all kinds of ducks and pheasants and things like that. But for my money, nothing better, no greater bite of food than a good piece of bread and butter, a little salt on there. What do you think, Tom?
I agree. My favorite food is the simple stuff.
Keep it simple, stupid. That's what they say.
That's right. That's what I've always said.
Are you feeling a little pressed out, or do you like taking this victory lap?
Oh, this is great. I like talking. I'm happy. It's nice to have written a book. That's the best feeling. Mm-hmm. It was a living nightmare writing it sometimes, but to have written one is the greatest, because then you get to say to all the people that don't have books, it's like, yeah, it's kind of a thing that you either you have one or you don't. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, like 6 months ago, I was just crying in the middle of the night, like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, and that wasn't even about the book.
No, that was just, and then I was just like, oh yeah, I have a book too. But I went back to my regularly scheduled crying. What's all the Sublime love out here also?
R.I.P. Bradley.
I just spent the weekend in San Diego. If you think they love Sublime here in L.A., oh brother, head down there. I mean, Sublime featuring Rome, they play 3 times a week at various festivals in San Diego. It's at this point, the music of Sublime is just kind of, it's immortalized. It's in our DNA at this point. Mm-hmm. He would, Bradley, R.I.P. He just really was that good. And I grew up hating Sublime. And now a Sublime comes on the radio. I don't click that channel. I keep it.
Okay.
You a big Sublime guy, Tom? Not so much.
I'm not. Sorry to say, not exactly.
I know.
My
You stay locked on K-Rock in the Prius.
You're an East Coast guy, so I don't expect you.
Oh well, no. I love to hear my favorite songs like "Aeroplane" by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Who doesn't love when you get to hear "Don't Stop" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Don't stop, make boop 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 boop. It's one of the worst songs.
Easily one of the worst
things ever been recorded by anyone. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Did you like early Peps though? Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic,
No,
and
don't
earlier?
do this. Don't do this.
Oh no, I go back to like Real Men Don't Kill Coyotes and
there you go.
all the freaky styley. No, I hated it back then for different reasons. I was just like, this is bad funk. I was 15 and I was like, yeah, this is terrible.
It is. It really is.
We're still rooting for the Chili Peps. I think they got one more masterpiece in them. Right? They got another one hot minute in them.
Agree with your sentiments on the Peps. A lot of people say that Kiedis's memoir, Scar Tissue, is a fantastic book, though. Have you read it?
It's a great book. Yes, I have.
Oh, you have read? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also, almost every woman I know seems to have a pretty strong crush on Kiedis.
Yeah, he's a very attractive guy.
Yeah, good skin.
And he's also one of those guys where he was just doing things until something popped. Like he would have been an actor if that went first.
Yeah.
For him.
Good point.
And that's fine. I'm not judging it. The one thing about him that got me Kiedis was when I read some article a few years ago and he's like, yeah, I got my kid. I don't show my kid like we watch old cartoons from like the 30s, and that's the stuff we watch. We don't watch new stuff. It's like, first of all, the old cartoons. Oh, you mean when the most racist things where all the characters smoke and all the stuff like that? And also, so it's all right for this guy to pollute the culture with his crummy band, but when it comes to what goes down in his house, he's got the gates up. Nah, I can't let any of this new garbage ruin my kid's brain. But I'll ruin all your kids' brains with my lousy band.
Yeah, Brooklyn only watches Steamboat Mickey, and that's it. Just some of the KKK stuff and all the smoking stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get all the World War II propaganda in there.
Anti-Chinese shit, all that stuff.
Sure. Yes.
Raising them right.
Well, hey, fuck the Chili Peppers. That's what I say. That's what you say. That's what Chris says. I'm sure that one day I'll pick up Scar Tissue, but it's not nearly as good as your book. So if you are a fan of Tom, writing, comedy, any of that stuff, make sure to pick up his book. Follow him on Twitter, and you can see a link to excerpts, etc.
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming.
Different photos of your fans taking pictures of the book with their
it's so much. It's
and breakfast sandwiches.
Like a cornucopia of what don't you get over at my Twitter?
Yeah, you spend all day smashing that RT button, I'm sure.
All day. My RT finger is so sore.
Okay, well, Tom, thank you so much for potting with us. We hope you had fun.
No, this is so much fun. I appreciate it, and thanks for having me.
Congratulations on the book.
Oh, Tom,
Yes.
usually at the end of every episode we have a song playing. I will ask if you have a song that you would like to add, but I worry that it's going to be that Red Hot Chili Pepper song.
It is. It's going to be Don't Stop by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Chop, chop, it says I'm gonna win big. Choose not to life of imitation. Your skin closer to the reservation. Deep funk, the pistol that you pay for. This pump, the feeling that you stay for. In time, I want to be your best friend. Eastside love is living on the west end. Knocked out before you better come to. Don't die, you know the truth is some do. Go write your message on the pavement. I'm so bad, I wonder what the wave meant. White heat is screaming in the jungle. Complete the motion if you stumble. Go ask the dust for any answers. Come back strong with 50 million answers. The world I love, the tears I drop to be part of the wave. Can't stop, ever wonder if it's